Hello Thistledown gang, welcome back to my channel if you've already been here. If not, hi, it's wonderful to have you here. Please stay, and by that I mean subscribe. This is the second installment of me painting on other people's rubbish. I already did one of those, which is implied by this is the second installment, and I will link that video up there and also down below in the description. This sign here, this hanging sign, originally said something along the lines of take a full glass of wine and put it in the cook, which I found horrible. So I simply had to paint it. I had several options. One of them was maybe doing a door sign for a friend or doing some kind of on-air thing for when I'm recording voiceovers for my room. But my partner usually knows that when this weird sound is coming out of my room and my door is closed, that I'm probably doing a voiceover. By the way, this is the first voiceover in quite some time that I'm doing without a script. I just thought, hey, why not sit down under a blanket, because that's what you do when you do voiceovers, and just comment this video. But I did not opt for any of these things and instead started designing something along the lines of, I don't know, something for a cocktail bar. You know, I have a friend who is really, really into cocktails, like absurdly so. He has all the stuff for it, and he's very invested in following recipes and stuff. I guess it's just the alchemist in him. I really don't know. I'm one of those people who pour together some pineapple juice and a coconut liquor and call it a pina colada. So I'm not the right person to ask there. This friend also is a huge fan of the Lovecraftian myth of the Lovecraft stuff, Cthulhu and things like that, and Shoggoths. I'm not. I am not really. I read a few short stories of Lovecraft once, and I found his style abominable. This friend is really into his works. He's not into, Lovecraft as a person. I think Lovecraft is a bit like J.K. Rowling. A lot of people just decided to divorce him and take the kids, and in this case the kids are, elder gods. I am, however, currently reading Lovecraft Country. I'm not reading it because I like Lovecraft. I am reading it because I love Matt Ruff. But yeah, said friend with the cocktail obsession and the liking of Cthulhu lent it to me, and I'm currently reading that, so that is kind of, topic adjacent. So I'd never done a acrylic galaxy thing before, and this was actually a really interesting to do. I first had removed all the original paint with some nail polish, and yes, I knocked it over twice onto my desk, which is also painted. This was stupid. I found it really interesting that when the second layer of paint, that was a very, very dark violet, wasn't quite dry yet, all the stippling came out as a lighter violet. I really, really like that. The whole galaxy painting thing was an experiment, and I really like how it turned out. As I said in the last painting video, I am not that used to acrylics. I only use acrylics kind of as a last resort when nothing else sticks. So when I can't use watercolors. But this worked really well, and it was actually quite fun. Now I have no idea what else I would paint with a galaxy-ish thing, night sky, whatever. But I might do it again because that was fun. I tried using this toothbrush flick paint splatter thing that, you do in kindergarten to get some of the stars into the galaxy. And that worked really well. I first tried it with a brush, which didn't work that fantastically, but with an old toothbrush it actually worked. So I guess the stiffer the brittles, the better. And then I cleaned it up with a normal paintbrush. I decided to cut my drawing in two and then just do another very, kind of kindergarten technique. I rubbed over the back with a piece of chalk and then just traced over my original drawing. And by that I got this, this kind of copy. Never mind that gold marker, it did not survive the acrylics I used to block out the drawing. In my last acrylics involved project, I used white to block out, but actually any light color seems to work. And I did more of that tracing stuff with the font. Actually, I love working with script, not script as in reading. Apparently, I started sounding so much like Jonathan Sims because I've been listening a lot to the Magnus Archives lately. I know I'm a bit late to the party, but better late than never. But I noticed that my speech pattern got a lot like his, and I thought it might be easier if I didn't have a script to read. Anywho, I love working with fonts and developing, writing, stuff like that. I am not the perfect, I'm not a perfect typographer. I had I think half a year of typography at school, but nobody taught us how to develop fonts or anything. It just was about spacing and the rule of don't use any more than 2 or 3 fonts in the same thing. Not that I would always, stick to that rule, but anyway. I decided to go for a Constellation cocktail glass. I'm still kind of proud of this idea. I am pretty sure that the whole the stars are always right for cocktails or for coffee or whatever thing has been done to death. But I like the idea, and as I said, that friend I am making this for really, really loves his cocktails and his Eldritch Horror, and that just matched so well. But I'm not quite sure if the star cocktail has been done before. I didn't look it up on purpose because and so I even if it's out there, I actually came up with this for myself. Yeah, I usually don't look up ideas that I have online before I realize them, because I don't want the feeling of it's been done to death. It's an idea I had and I want to work with it, and yeah, if someone else has done it before, that's fine, but as long as I don't know that anyone has done it before, I don't feel bad about it. Shading with acrylics is still kind of a bit of a mystery to me. I'm so used to my watercolors and it doesn't quite work, especially when you don't have the patience to let each layer decently dry. There's a reason why I never really got into oil painting. So I rather went with a kind of flat approach, and then went in with a few lighter and darker colors to get some sort of plasticity, I guess, and then darker outlines. I painted the underside of the tentacle in a more yellowish color. I wasn't quite sure if that would work out, but I kind of like how it went, and then went in with a darkened version of that, adult version actually, to define those suction cups a bit more. But once you get the hang of the whole acrylics thing, it's actually really fun because it's just so vibrant. I said that in the last video too, but it's just really, really fun. I went in and got the tentacle a few dots because I really like that. This is just the way I draw my tentacles most of the time, and I just like them spotty. I think it makes them cuter somehow. And then there was a ton more of the drawing the script. I really love this gold paint. I've said it before. I try to use it everywhere, to be honest. I think the whole script thing, and I also outlined it later on, you will see that in just, here. That actually took the most time in the whole project. Because it's a lot of meticulous work and it's annoying and you have to do a lot of cleaning up. And overall, the whole thing took about 7 hours, I guess, and I only know that because I binge-watched Charité in between, and I got through the first season and I think 2 episodes of the second. So that friend better be grateful. And I hope he will hang this on his cocktail cabinet. It would definitely, elevate his kitchen. Also, I find it really funny that I accidentally dressed matching the project. That wasn't on purpose. Oh yeah, also the chain, I had removed that earlier on, and then I found out that, I had painted it upside down. So I drilled new holes into there with a hand drill, and then screwed those hooks back in, and then I was finally finished. I gave the whole thing a clear protective coat, and also I added some cute little light dots on the tentacle. I really like how it came out. It's far more cartoony than I expected, but I really do like it.
This is disgusting.
Yeah, of course it's disgusting. It's Pfeffi plus rum plus unhealthy amounts of food
the things
coloring.
I do for you.
Well, you didn't have to drink it again, you know? Anywho, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the attention. Like, subscribe, spread the word if you like this. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Stay enchanted, and farewell.